Hi everybody.
Hi.
Back again to drink tea. We've got two gaiwans set up here. We're gonna do a side-by-side with the 2017 and the 2018 impression. The 2017 impression is sold out. The 2018 just came out. But I wanted to not necessarily compare them so much as just talk about them, you know, and drink them side by side. Obviously, you know, they're a year apart in age, so, you know, it's really hard to, for me, I can't really remember what the 2017 was like when it first came out. I mean, I kind of remember, but, you know, I couldn't remember exactly, oh, it tastes exactly the same as 2018 or something like that. But we're gonna drink them side by side and talk about them. Again, two teas, both of them, they're blends, and actually they're the exact same blend and ratio compared to 2017. 2018, 2017 are the same. Of course, you know, every year's harvest of tea, even from the same garden, is similar. So, or can be different.
It's different.
Yeah, it can be different.
Yeah.
Similar but different. So
same tea trees, but you know, maybe it's the weather, warm, you know, will make a little bit different.
Yeah. So move this over just a little bit. So yeah, it's an interesting thing to compare, you know, teas. Obviously, if we could transport ourselves back in time to when the 2017 was new and bring the 2018 and drink them at the same time, that would be very interesting. But of course, it's impossible to do. So that's kind of, I always call it like drinking Pu-erh and comparing different years. It's like trying to hit a moving target, which is very difficult to do unless you have just an incredible memory. And I can't say that I do. I feel like, not to be punny, but that the 2017 tea did make an impression on me back at that time, and I did have a feeling for it. But yeah, let's drink them side by side. I haven't actually done this, and we'll just see what happens, and we'll talk about it. So for reference, the 2017 is here, and the 2018 is here. You can probably tell the difference. Might not be able to tell with the camera here, but the 2017 is darker. Yeah. But it looks very similar in terms of like the leaf and everything. The 2017 is darker, obviously, because it's had more time to age. So let's do it. And again, 7 grams in these gaiwans here. I'm not sure exactly the size of these gaiwans. That's probably 130. 130, something like that. So I'm brewing it strong, but not super strong. Since we're going to be drinking 2 teas at once. And I'm not using a strainer. It's too much work.
Even the tea soup, you can tell that one's more.
Yeah, this has got a little more of like a golden color, and this one's a little more green. Use this. Get this a wash here. Yeah, but I was really surprised that the 2017 sold out as fast as it did. The interesting thing is we have 2012, 2014, and 2015. Impression as well, which are excellent. Although those are different blends. Yeah. Nice, rich, buttery. This one.
The 2017 one is like have more aged honey smell.
Yeah. It's definitely more of like a honey.
The 2018 one is more fresh and the aroma is good.
Yeah, but it's interesting that they are quite similar. The aroma as well. Let me smell this again. Yeah.
This one is more like fresh, 清爽,
Yeah.
because it's, you know, it's very new, very fresh. You know, even 1 year is very different.
Oh yeah, these teas change. Well, I think Sheng Pu'er especially. Well, not just Sheng, but Shu as well. Really changes dramatically in the in the first 2 years, and then after that it kind of
Slow down.
a little bit. Yeah, it slows down a little bit. It's still changing, but the real dramatic changes are in the first year or two. It's really hard to know the character of a tea when it's really young, unless you just have a lot of experience. I mean, like we do, drinking super young teas. I mean, we make decisions about which teas we're going to purchase. As for Sheng Pu'er and Mao Cha, you know, as soon as a few days after the teas have been picked and processed, or
Smell
the
the
day
cup.
of. Yeah. Nice. All right, let's do it. That's
Yeah,
what
the
we're using.
2017 is like more golden, dark golden. This one is a light yellow.
Yeah. Yep. All right.
This is for me.
Yeah. You don't have to take them all the way over there. I'm not going to knock them down, I promise. I'm going to drink the 2018 first.
I will drink the 2017 first.
Kind of a real vegetable umami hit in the front there.
Oh, this tea is strong.
Yeah. I know.
Heavy.
2 cups of each. It's going to be in it. Might be a little tough. Get these going. This almost 2017 is nice. It has an almost dancong like kind of creaminess to it.
That probably is, you should call that age. Yeah, 那种叫什么? It's kind of like 陈化了, you know, a little bit. It's like 蜜香.
Yeah, it's like a honey taste from the aging.
They both of them quite strong.
The 2018 still has, I think, has a bit of a watery taste. It's very...
Just come out not
Yeah.
a long time ago.
The water vapor still trapped in the tea from the pressing gives it a little bit of a watery taste. It's not as crisp. It's more rounded, and it makes it a little more sweet too. But I would prefer like the crisp sweetness, you know, where it's more like a crisp taste. This one's more. So I mean, yeah, it's very very fresh tea.
Yeah.
The other thing worth mentioning is that the 2017 impression is a 357 gram cake, and the 2018 impression is a 400 gram cake, which was a mistake on the part of the tea factory. We had the wrappers printed 357 grams. We sent the tea to them. They blended it all good, and then they pressed it, but they pressed it as 400 grams. So then we had to reprint the wrapper as a 400 gram wrapper because it's a little bit, the diameter is a little wider, and then also change the number on the back from 357 to 400. But so that's one reason why the starting price for the 2018 is a little bit higher as well, because it's a 400 gram cake. You're getting 43 more grams.
Show the colors.
Yeah, this is pretty
Look.
more obvious.
Yeah.
I'll take it a little farther.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see here. But it was our intention to do a 357 gram cake, but yeah, just, you know, I'm glad that's like literally the worst mistake the tea factory's ever made. So that's not too bad. At least they didn't, you know, confuse the teas or something.
No, they are good. Just we working with them so many years.
Yeah.
That's the only time they made a mistake.
Pretty similar, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you smell them like that.
Yeah, the guides smells very similar. But when you drink, actually, they're quite different.
Yeah. I think the 2017 is definitely the better one at this time. You know, and just having that extra
With
age
the
there.
age,
Yeah. But I think, I mean, how would you compare 2018 autumn tea in general and 2017 autumn tea? Pretty similar, different? Is one better than the other, would you say?
I think it's pretty similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a dry autumn, so the problem is autumn often can be, the monsoon season can extend into too far into September. And, you know, the teas are usually picked kind of like end of September into early October. And if the monsoon season extends too far, then it can really kind of make the autumn tea watery and kind of inferior. But that rarely happens. And 2017, 2018, in my memory, didn't have that problem at all.
Yeah.
I felt like if anything, we had to kind of reject some autumn teas simply because some good ones, because we just couldn't, you know, make them all. We got a lot of great samples, but just weren't able to act on all of them because we just, you know, we have to limit, you know, our productions, you know, so they don't get too unwieldy as they already are. The other thing I noticed too is, well, I mean, it's really hard when you're drinking two teas side by side because you get, it's like, well, what about the mouthfeel, you know, or what about the chachi? And it's like, you can't really, when you're drinking them like this, you can't really say, oh, the chachi of this one is better than this one. You would have to have completely separate sessions, and then you'd have to do them at the same time of day, and you'd have to be kind of feeling on the same energy level and have had the same amount of food and all that stuff. So I think chachi is kind of, I mean, definitely has it, but I couldn't really say like, oh, this one has
which one?
Yeah, or which one has a longer, long-lasting mouth feeling.
You can't really.
No, because it's confused.
Because you drink at the same time, like, you know.
That's kind of a trick that a lot of tea dealers like to use.
I think you drink like this. The most important is the taste. You only get, you know, the heavy, 就是怎么说? The only you get is the taste. You can't talk more about another stuff.
Well, you can,
like
but you can't. You can't
yeah.
talk about it as a this one versus that one. But you can talk about it. I mean, essentially, we're drinking the same tea from the same tea garden since a blend. Just one is 1 year older than the other, and they're from different harvests. So, you know, that's kind of what makes the difference. And the fact that I just brewed this one about 10 seconds longer than the other one. But that's good. This one needs a little bump up because it's young. It needs a little help.
Okay.
But no, as I was going to say though, is tea dealers like to brew sheng cha, or they'll brew like a really good sheng cha with a nice chachi and hui gan, liu gan, and then they'll brew. Hey, Lucy. Then they'll brew an inferior one behind it, or a ripe tea. And then often you'll just be like, yeah, this is awesome, because like right when that chachi hits, and that liugan is kind of in your mouth, and then the second tea maybe is vastly inferior. You might not notice it as much. because you're still kind of riding the high from the previous tea, the tea that you can't afford, you know, maybe the Lao Banjiang or whatever, you know, or the Impression, which actually is good, but you can afford it. And that's kind of the whole reason we made these teas, you know. I started to see 7542 prices like creeping up, you know, new ones like, you know, $30, $40, you know, $30 something, $40 for a 7542 cake. And I was like, I can do something better than this for cheaper, actually, by, you know, quite by a lot, way better and cheaper. I mean, it's not the same thing. I'm not trying to make a 7542. I'm trying to make a good cake, a good tea that's good for aging and that's affordable, you know, because I was starting to see, you know, when I first started with the tea back in 2004, like 7542 was like, you know, $4 or $5 or $6 when it came out, you know. And then as the Munghai Tea Factory started to really get like overly popular, you know, we ended up, well, especially like the first batch of whatever year 7542 is just absurd. Anyways, it's a different kind of tea. It's not really the same, but I think it is, you know, for people who aren't looking for that 7542 taste, you know, or looking for that, if they're just looking for something good, you know, this is a way better option, in my opinion. Obviously, it's my opinion.
Most people, they choose Munghai tea.
That's nice. Fruity. 2007 sold out.
Yeah, if you like 2017 one, you definitely get some 2018 ones.
Yeah. But people are buying it. It's been for sale for I don't know how long now. What, a month? And it's really selling fast, the 2018. We're actually... Sorry, go ahead.
And the design, the wrapper is so cool.
Yeah. Both of them by Rising Red Lotus, a.k.a. Brandon Sadler. Shout out to him and what he's doing. I think he's an incredible artist. Check out his website, Rising Red Lotus. You can check him out at Rising Red Lotus, Instagram. Check him out. Great art by Rising Red Lotus. So that's pretty cool. We're really fortunate to have some of his designs now. We've got 3 total. And the Lucy Ripe Cake 2018, the kind of impressionistic Lucy, the 250 gram cake, you know, where it's like kind of soft watercolors and Lucy's. It's fair. That's a great piece of art as well. Wow, I'm feeling this like up, kind of like my back and just kind of like coming around. Like I'm feeling it.
It's very strong.
Yeah. So I was thinking that we might make an impression. Spring impression. Yeah, from the same villages that comprise this blend.
But the price will be higher.
Well, yeah, the price will be higher. Plus, we're going to charge a 20% surcharge.
What's that?
Just an extra 20%. Because I'm just kidding. Just because. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to dump this out here.
Just because it's something new. Because we're never making spring impression.
No, our pricing is always based on what we pay for something, you know. It's always like a certain percentage markup, you know, if something's... And typically more expensive things have lower markups, actually. Because I would try to, like some of the real expensive Iwu teas actually have a lower, you know, markup.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, strong tea. I don't even know how many steeps we've done. We haven't even done that many. I'm just buzzing.
You have to get ready for the spring tea.
Yeah. How do I get ready for that? Just like not drinking tea and fasting, or drinking more tea
Drinking more.
and
I
eating
think.
a bunch of fatty foods.
I think you definitely need练习 practice.
Practice, really?
Yeah. If you drink less, and probably you will easily got here.
I get tea drunk so easily, though. That's the thing. All these years, maybe not easily, but it's I've never like built up a real kind of tolerance. You know what I mean?
Practice. Like today you drink 2.
It doesn't work.
Next day you drink.
No.
Tomorrow you drink like 4.
No. I can't do that. Like day in and day out. I have to pace myself. If we're getting ready to drink a ton of teas, the best thing I can do is not drink a ton of teas.
Yeah.
Maybe. Oh, so you were kidding? That's great advice. No, it's good for me to take breaks from now and then and to drink less.
Still very strong.
Yeah.
You probably can.
Yeah, I do. I really, this tea really does remind me of last year's tea. Like if you brought out this tea and you said, what is this tea without me drinking it? I think I could guess it. The 2018.
They're definitely very similar, very close.
Yeah, this one definitely is like more honey sweetness.
Yeah.
A little more, definitely more complex. And again, I attribute that 100% to the aging. Somebody had just drank the 2018, bought it right after it came out, drank it, and thought it was much softer. And they were like, "Oh, did you try to make a more accessible, easy drinking, version or whatever?" And I was like, "No." I'm like, "It's just younger, It just takes time." And that's the thing. I think people drinking pu'er has become pretty popular, and a lot of people are drinking it, and that's great. But I think what people have to keep in mind is that pu'er is meant to be aged.
Yeah.
And some pu'ers are going to be really harsh when they're young, and some are going to be less harsh, but they're going to change, and they're going to change quite dramatically, especially in the first, couple years, and then over time as well. So I think it's just really important that people keep in mind that, and to not just like write off a tea because, we're very unique because we sell teas like super fresh. We don't age them. Like even ripe teas, like a lot of times we'll get a ripe tea, it'll be new, it'll still have tons of wet pile taste, and I'll just press it. Because, that's just kind of what we do. I'm not going to just sit around and like let it age to perfection before I offer it to people. I mean, that's just not reasonable for me to hold on to teas for 2, 4, 5, 10 years or whatever.
If it's that way,
then the first 10 years from now we'll sell it for $120. We could do that, but that's that doesn't give people an opportunity to buy and age it themselves. But given that we give that opportunity to people, and that's great. I don't really want to wait 10 years before I sell a tea, but I think just people keeping in mind that that these teas age and that they change, and I know everybody probably watching knows that, but I think it's something to keep in mind, because I think sometimes I think we tend to forget that, and we tend to judge the teas and kind of just like, oh well, that wasn't what I was expecting, like it's not the 2007, it's not as good as the 2017, and it's like, well, of course it's not. It's 2 weeks old,
just try to give more time and try different time, I think they will changing slowly, and even the short time will have different tastes.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Just to be patient.
Yep. And I'm not trying to criticize anybody. I'm just trying to, I'm kind of like hear all the different things and I very much believe, like if I'm making a tea, I very much believe in it and I know it, like I know this tea, I know where it's grown. I know how it's, I know how it's grown. I know how it's blended. I know that it's, so I'm very confident in the teas. But anyways, yeah, that's just, my perspective. And I think some people also just prefer certain types of teas over other kinds of teas as well. So, whoa, I'm like, ooh.
Wow, the 2017 one is sweet now.
Yeah, very sweet.
It's kind of like soft and sweet.
But they really do taste similar to me.
Yeah.
For me, I can really make that connection drinking them side by side. And I know a lot of you out there probably, got the eye twitch. I know a lot of you out there probably have both of these cakes now, or at least have the 2017, got it before it sold out. I would highly recommend drinking them side by side, and keeping in mind that they're the same blend, same ratio from the same tea gardens. Difference is of course the time and the year, autumn versus 2017 versus autumn 2018. I think it's interesting to try and experience. I think we're gonna stop here because we've said pretty much all we've said, and I'm kind of ranting now.
Yeah.
And I'm really tea drunk, so.
Already?
Yeah, already. But yeah, did you want to add anything?
Just give a try. I think, it's good tea.
Yeah.
Both is good.
Yeah, 2 good teas.
Yeah.
Oops. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, check them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, check this one out. This one, if you don't have it, sorry. Anyways, thanks for watching.
Thank you.
See you next time. Bye.